What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward, talk about other factors out there which you should be watching for as time goes on. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. The offer ends in just 2 weeks. Deposit any amounts of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20. Deposit $2,000 more, you're guaranteed 40. The offer ends once again in 2 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the charts. So, as far as NIO is going right now, this is trying to uptrend right here, nearing a bullish cross in the PPO. If we break past this 4.5 resistance, we could easily see 4.64 being tested at the 50 EMA. Now, there's potential for NIO to do this, especially after we just got our deliveries numbers, and things are looking pretty good for the share price, at least thus far. So, NIO delivered 20,575 vehicles in November, hitting 20,000 for 7 consecutive months, which is good news for them. On top of this, they delivered that many, and that's about a 28.9% increase year over year. Not bad whatsoever. And then we also saw about 190,000, almost 191,000 delivered year to date. That's not bad. That's another 34.4% increase year over year. And we saw about 15,500 of these smart electric vehicles being delivered. And then 5,000 came from their family oriented smart vehicles from the brand Onvo. Not bad whatsoever, in my personal opinion. So we actually have the chart right here. I'm going to zoom into this in just 1 second. I think this is just incredible just to see how they're continuing to grow like this. If you look at the numbers just like this, that's 20,575 for November. That is absolutely incredible. And they've once again broken another record. I think it showed the total deliveries right here. So in total, right, in total, that's actually over 640,000 deliveries as of November 30th, 2024 in their lifetimes. That's very, very awesome news. They've surpassed the 500,000 mark and they're doing a great job at hitting 640,000. Going back to the chart here, you guys can see that since May, we saw a big increase in their deliveries, and they absolutely crushed the numbers compared to what we saw during last May of 2023. And since then, we've been consistently getting 20,000, 20,000, 20,000 over and over and over again. Back in 2023 in September, they did 15,000. For 2024 September, they did 21,000, right? You guys can see the big differences in these bars. They did 16,000 in October versus 21,000 October of 2024. That's a 16,000 October 2023 versus 21,000 2024. And then for November 2023, which is last year, they did about 15,300. And then as you guys could see, I'm sorry, it's 15,900. Sorry about that, guys. And they did about 20,575 for this November. So it's once again a big increase year over year. Once again, absolutely crushing and looking at some very, very strong numbers. So now I think that investors are now expecting us to consistently do 20,000 or more. And as Onvo is growing, this is going to continue to be very, very bullish for them moving forward. Their sub brand is doing well, and I think this is very exciting news. We're seeing a lot of headlines coming out about this. 5,000 deliveries came from Onvo, and the rest came from NIO. And I think they're going to continue to grow as they expand to these different areas. But at this point, I would say that investors, this could help the share price go up. But there is one issue. Don't forget that they had some very, very strong guidance, and we're going to need about 30,450 vehicles delivered in December to reach the low end of their guidance. So NIO is betting on a very strong December, 30,000 plus deliveries. Will we get it? We'll just have to wait and see. But the one thing I just do want to call out is the fact that deliveries are great, but deliveries are not the same thing as margins. So let's say you keep getting these deliveries, awesome news. But will their margins keep up? Will they improve their margins? I think that's what investors are going to be looking out for even more. We have 29 million in volume. That's once again not too bad. And I think volume is going to start going up as short volume is decreasing. So that could lead to a little bit more upside. Goldman Sachs did give NIO a sell rating about 1 week ago, but hopefully things improve for them because of the fact that we're now looking at stronger deliveries, and hopefully the share price starts to make its way back up. Also, the price-price ratio has been dipping a bit. Hopefully, it bounces a little bit as it's at this low. Typically, when it's at this low, it does tend to bounce. So we'll see if we get that at least going into tomorrow. Historically, Mondays are green only about 49% of the time, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays tend to be stronger. And besides that, we'll have to see how things go. I also want to mention the fact that for earnings, there's not really much coming up for tomorrow. We have very minor earnings after market close, but then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we have bigger earnings coming out as we see more retail. For economic data, tomorrow is going to be Monday, December 2nd, 2024. At 9:45 a.m., we have some global manufacturing PMI reports coming out. Then we have the manufacturing PMI employment and new orders. All this data comes out for manufacturing at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then besides that, the fear and greed index is currently at greed. That's making up the majority of sentiment. Extreme greed is how we're looking in terms of our momentum. And then we also have the puts and call option ratio at extreme greed. This is continuing to drop as we're starting to see a lot more buyers coming back. On top of this, the VIX is once again continuing to fall. This is decreasing because of the fact that the market's continuing to remain bullish, and there's no sign of that stopping quite yet. Anyways, now let's just talk about the technical analysis side of things. Right now, NIO is looking more bullish, trying to break this 4.5 area. Just know this, because we're nearing a bullish cross in the PPO and because we got a bullish divergence right here on our MACD, and because of the fact that we had some nice deliveries, I anticipate NIO might attempt to break past 4.51 and start pushing for that 4.65 area. I think there's a good chance we try to push a little bit higher going into tomorrow as we have an imbalance to fill and this EMA to test. So look for a little bit more upside, potentially 3 to 5% update, in my personal opinion. And we could be looking for a nice bounce from there. As far as SPY goes, in order to turn bearish, you want to see it lose some key support around that 600 area. 600 to 601 needs to be lost. Then 598 would be our next target, followed by 595. Because we're holding above 601 to 600, there's a good chance this continues to push for 604 plus. I think there's a good chance that SPY continues this uptrend very nicely. I think right now SPY is looking more bullish as it uptrends. There's a good chance that this is going to continue as we're above our 20 EMA. So looking for a potential target above 604 to hit 605. As long as we don't lose 601, this will likely continue to push. For ES, we're testing the all-time high resistance area around that 60,060 area. If we break that, we're looking for more upside. As long as we don't lose 60,025, we favor upside. So as of right now, the charts look more bullish. For Nvda, we hit this key support right here at this 132 area. Now we're trying to rebound. As long as we don't lose 135, there's a good chance that this kind of dips a bit before it tries to push higher. I'm going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to 140 for a small bounce on Nvda, so long as there's no bad news. Bitcoin's holding up very nice with a nice inverse hand shoulders like structure. As long as it does not lose 96,600, 95,882, this is once again favoring that's going to try to push slowly back up to the 98,000 area. For other factors out there, we have Tesla looking quite bullish on the 4-hour, holding the 50 and 20 EMAs very nicely. This imbalance will take us up to about 353, not to mention 360. I think there's a good chance we push up higher, but I think there's a very, very good chance it tries to push. As far as NQ goes, NQ is looking for 21,100. If that breaks, we're looking for 21,200. And if we lose 20,869, we could be tipping, but this is favoring upside, especially as the 4 hours looking bullish. So we could be looking for the 21,000s very soon. For the QQQ, we're looking more bullish as long as you don't lose 507 and 505. We're favoring a push back up for 512.5, not to mention 515. So I think that we look more bullish here. We could dip a bit before it continues to push for that 512 area, especially because of Nvda trying to push things up. Apple's looking more bullish. There's no sign of it rejecting yet. I need this thing to lose 235 to turn bearish. Otherwise, it's favoring upside, and it's going to try to fight for this resistance up here around 238. If it manages to hold above that, we're looking for 240 as our potential target. As of right now, the chart is favoring upside. MSTR has the same thing going on. It dipped a little bit. Now it's trying to hold support. As long as it does not lose 380, it could attempt to bounce again. And we could be looking for a test around that 400 area, right over here at this imbalance at 408. If that breaks, we're looking for 420, then 440 is our potential targets. There's a good chance it tries to push higher for the 420 plus area, and we'll have to see how things go from there. The IWM, as of right now, we're consolidating in this range. As long as we don't lose 240 and 236, I think we favored 244 plus, if not higher, for a nice push. For coin is looking a little bit more decent right here. As long as we don't hold below 296, this could attempt to get back up to 303. I think it's going to dip a little bit first to get closer to about that 290 area, and then might try to rebound. As of right now, it's just consolidating between this range between 290 and 316. So it might dip closer to 290 before it tries to bounce. Just keep that in mind. For Amazon, we're looking more bullish as we're getting bought up right here. As long as we don't lose 205, this is favoring a push for basically the 210s. And then after that, we have essentially 214. I think that 210 could be coming on Amazon. It looks more bullish as long as we don't lose 205. There's a good chance it tries to push. Don't forget, we have Cyber Monday coming up. For Meta, we're on a very, very nice uptrend as long as you don't lose 568. I think we're favoring 581. For Microsoft, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose 420, we're looking for a push back up to about 426. And then for Google, we're just consolidating at the 170 area. It's very flat right now. So we're waiting to see if we could break past 171 to hit 173. And eventually, if that breaks, we're looking for 175. Or if we get a rejection here, we want to see this thing lose 168 to start tipping lower. Otherwise, it's just range bound. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great rest of your day. Right now, the market's doing a good job at holding up, and there's a good chance it tries to continue at least a bit for tomorrow. But we'll have to see if it can sustain these high levels as we're nearing all-time highs for many ETFs. And NIO should be trying to break past 4.5 to hit 4.64. If we were to lose 4.4, we're going to be looking for the lows to be retested around 4.3. I don't favor that as much. I think we're looking a little bit more promising on the 4-hour. It looks like it wants to push for 4.64. So that's what I'm favoring for now. Anyways, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you again, and peace out.